What's up, fam? It's Calla from Recalibrate, back with episode 18 of the Lighten Up podcast. On today's episode, we have my friend, the Real Khiry, who is a rapper, musician, philanthropist, activist, MC here in Phoenix, Arizona, who's really just out here killing the motherfucking game. So I'm really excited to share this conversation with you. Khiry is one of the hardest working people that I know. He's so kind, has such a huge heart, really does a lot for his community, his people, and the way he shows up in the world is really inspiring. So I think everyone is going to get something out of this conversation. We talk a lot about being in the world, not of the world. So the balance between, reading your Bible and going to the strip club. So it's a really fun conversation. Khiry's a really awesome guy. He's one of my great friends. So I'm really excited to share this episode with you guys. So thanks for tuning in. Before we get into it, I do want to say a couple of housekeeping things. The first is that there is a fish tank in the house that we recorded in. So you can just pretend in this episode that you're laying by a river or stream as you listen to us talk. It could be kind of relaxing. We did also get interrupted by a kid at one point, and I just left that in there because I thought it was kind of endearing and cute. And the last thing is this conversation actually took place back in October. So it's a little bit dated in terms that we were talking about Mercury retrograde and all these planets in retrograde, but it's actually about to be Mercury retrograde again right now. So all in divine timing. I'm really excited to share this conversation. Music is such an important part of my life, and Khiry is really inspiring to me in the way that he shows up and the themes that he has in his music. So definitely go check him out on Spotify or wherever you stream music. The Real Khiry, also on Instagram at The Real Khiry. That's TheRealKhiry. So check him out. As always, you know where to find me. Recalibrate. Here we are, bitches. So that all being said, let's grab a candle, some sacred smoke, sage, whatever you got laying around, some incense, and let's lighten up together, fam. What's up, fam? It's Calla from Recalibrate, here with my friend, the Real Khiry.
Hey, how you doing?
So before we get into it, you know the deal. We're going to take 3 deep breaths, ground into this present moment, and then say a prayer, and then we'll get into it. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, let's just stop and take the deepest breaths we've taken so far all day. So we'll breathe in together. And let it out. Again, breathe in. And let it out. Last one. I'm going to light this candle and just call upon Khiry's highest self, my highest self, all of our ancestors, guides, angels, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it. And I just ask that you be here for this communication, allow Khiry and I to communicate the truth of who we are and the messages that those listening will most benefit from, so that we can all together anchor more light and love into this planet. Aho.
I'll say,
What's up, fam?
I love that.
So for those of you who don't know, this is the Real Khiry.
The real one, not the fake one.
Not the fake one. And he is probably the hardest working person that I know.
Man, I have a lot of pressure on me because I know some harder working people than me. I'd be like, motivation is key. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Khiry is a musician, a rapper. He's a, what do you call that, what you do at the club? An MC.
Ooh, look, see? Look, didn't even have to say it, just said bing, right to you. Yeah.
He's an MC. He was really involved with the, what?
That was one.
As I was saying before my phone rudely shut off, that
technology. Look, Mercury retrograde. It's a lot of different planets in retrograde right now. So technology is literally. It's been pretty funny to watch it act up though.
For real.
It has been.
Well, Khiry is he's really involved. He was really involved with the protests.
Yeah. Still dealing with a lot from that, just in general. But hopefully gonna get some things like returned around, because we know how bad and devious Phoenix PD was, and MCSO was, and we know how corrupt Alistair Dell was, and everything else involved. So
yeah, Kyrie's on the wave. He knows all about even like the truth of BLM and stuff, which we don't have to get into all that.
But we don't have to get into that. I don't even.
That's a big one. But Khiry is with the shits. He's also really involved with the homeless community out here in Phoenix. Does like a
giveaways. Just making sure we're taking care of those that are less fortunate than us. And you know, I would say some of the people that are forgotten about, because so many times we get so heavy in our own lives and we forget to like give back to those that have been forgotten about or lost or have mental health issues or X, Y, and Z. So it's just something that I felt really good at doing when it was something that I was doing. So we're trying to get the next one going. Finally moved into this new beautiful space and finally got more stuff coming in. And
you can see, I think I messed up the frame, but you can see there's the bags of clothes right there. Like,
some of them. Yep.
He gathers clothes, and then I've gone with him several times downtown, and we just literally give out clothes, toiletries, food, and
you've seen it, just lines and lines of people for about 3 to 4 hours almost. At least 4 to 5 big tables. Hygiene packs for men and women. A lot of clothes. They're basically shopping with us for free.
It's really cool. And like, it's cool because you're not, people always ask us like, what organization are you with? I'm like,
started with an organization, now in here. I'm not a part of any organization. We started with an org, and eventually things work the way that they work, and you realize, hey, I can do this on my own.
Yeah, so it's really awesome, and I've learned so much from those events, and like just I've been so inspired by you taking the initiative, and despite being so busy.
Thank you. It's heartbreaking. It's like I put a lot of pressure on myself for it, because even the fact that it's taking me so long to get to this next one, we were doing it almost 2 times a month. And then it went. I got to at least once a month, and then I had to find a new living space, and we moved. And now, like, trying to get back into it, also knowing that Phoenix PD and the city of Phoenix, they moved everyone out of Tent City, where we were giving. It's finding another place, and also making sure that we have more than enough, and being like extra prepared puts a lot of pressure on me, especially with me being as busy as I am. I just hope that, we can do it, and we still do it very well like we used to.
I'm sure you will, but as he was saying, Phoenix PD, like, they had this whole communities of tents where people were living, and then one day they just were like, nope, you can't stay here, and all these people are just dispersed.
Not only that, they moved them, at least there were warnings of them needing for them to move, but they removed them almost a couple months earlier than what was being said. And it was just sad, because you had at least a good over 200 to 500 people living in those in tents outside in Arizona on concrete. Like, what? And I think the real mission was, let's move them out of here because we have to get ready for the Super Bowl in 2023. And sadly, I really think that's what it was. Clear space so we can turn these into parking lots and make more money and more revenue downtown. Can't stand it.
It's really sad, but thank you for doing your part and doing what you can.
Thank you for being with me. Thank you for being with me.
I
don't think you've missed one.
Well, I wasn't there from the jump, but then since you've had them, I've been in since I came, I've been in everyone. So
thank you.
We all do it together, right? That's what you were saying before we got started.
With a little help from my friends.
So how do you, because you obviously manage all of these things, and like Instagram is a whole other full-time job, as I understand.
Yes.
So, and I don't even have like 12,000 followers or however many you have.
It's Instagram is work, and I think like with anything else, it comes with balance. Understanding that this is not the one main thing. I think it's one of the most toxic things, but where we are in our day and age of technology, and how we spread the awareness of ourselves and our business and what we do and how we stay connected, it's kind of a necessity. It's a tool. It's a tool to be used just like anything else, and if you overuse a certain tool, then you'll probably do some damage somewhere. So I think the key thing with dealing with Instagram is finding balance. Like, and my Mondays are usually my days where I stay off my phone, or I just try to stay away from, or stay off Instagram. And that helps me stay grounded within being like, okay, I don't have to stress about these things. I don't have to get to everything right then and there. Everybody wants like instant gratification or an instant reply, and I've shown my phone enough so many times. I just had to talk to my little brother today. I have over almost 700 messages of people that just want to message me, talk, or do whatever. And I'm like, if it has nothing to do with doing better, being better, or improving ourselves or improving our business, you're probably wasting my time.
Yeah.
So, and I don't need my time wasted because I'm so invested in so many other things. So again, like this, it's not something like this to get like clear messages across or help other people understand how to move and to not stress and to remain grounded, to keep your power and realizing that saying no is also a power word.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be a part of it.
Yeah. I loved what you said about the taking one day a week as a break, because I have people tell me all the time, like, just take an Instagram break, take a month off. I'm like, if I take a month off as Instagram, like,
You're forgotten. Can't. You'll be forgotten. I mean, unfortunately, it is like that because, again, the hustle and bustle, it's a daily thing. So the one day of that self-care, and I think it also helps to do self-care routines throughout the week, right, of course, but that one day of like, no, this is to myself. Even after the cosmos and the world was made, it says what? God, source.
On the seventh day.
He rested.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So if we want to be as close to him as we want to be in this human form, we have to understand we need a rest day.
Yeah.
You need a rest day. There's no excuses. And you wear yourself out, and once you wear your body out, your body is susceptible to getting sick. And then guess what? Now you're sick with other things that you shouldn't even be getting sick from. You shouldn't even be getting sick.
And then you got to take 10 days off or 2 weeks off.
Literally.
You know? Yeah. And I also love that you brought up like this pull to like people. I feel like cell phones make people feel so fucking entitled to your time and attention. And I've had to have talks with several friends like, listen, I love you, but like I don't even get as many messages as you, but I'm getting no less than 20 messages a day, sometimes up to 100. Right. And like, I cannot.
You can't get to them all.
And then the fucking thing about messaging is, you message all these bitches, and then they message you back.
And then they're expecting you to respond.
And then it's just this constant flow of like messages.
And then you're like, where has my day gone? It's 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. I've been pacing for hours, responding to this person, responding to this person. If it's not productive business, and it's just talking, and it's like, again, what are we doing? Again, and there's this time and places where you can talk and help somebody, right, but even eventually it's like, okay, I'm giving you a point. Like, I'm very direct. Get to the points. We keep it moving. You understood it or you didn't understand it. I'm going to try and repeat it one more time. Hopefully you got it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why I give my time to certain things, but other than that, again, if it's toxic, I don't need to be involved.
Yeah.
You don't need to be wasting my time.
We grown.
I'm in the club. It's toxic enough. I have to like bless myself and sage myself and smudge myself when I come home, shower, and like get rid of all the heebie-jeebies. I be around so many little lower vibration people, but we've all had our time and place where we've been in lower vibrations. Absolutely. And had to come up and then realize, hey, one of my favorite things that the Kaleidoscope Kid, Josh, posts is Ram Dass when he's like, treat people like trees. Yeah. And you know, we forget to treat people like trees, like everybody's the same until we get around people, because then the judgment starts to come in.
Right.
And just because you're doing better or you're on your path of enlightenment or you're doing what you need to be doing doesn't mean that you're better than the person that's not. They're going through it too. And you were going through it at one point in time too. So. And
there's someone more advanced than you.
100,000%.
Because otherwise, who would you learn from? Like it's all divine, and we're all on the path. Yeah. At different points.
100%.
And one thing I really love about you is like you really hold this balance of like a little bit of hood shit.
Been there. Look, I've worked. It takes work. I've worked to be where I'm at right now. Because I've lived many different lives, Kala. We won't have to talk about it. I probably don't even know about all of them. We don't have to talk about it. But I've lived many different lives, and I'm blessed to be alive to this day, to be honest, and to be able to, I guess, be an apostle of someone that can spread a better message and let you know, hey, I done lived 1,000 different lives, bro. You don't have to remain where you are. You don't have to stay stuck in this vibration. You don't have to stay in the streets. You don't have to keep selling drugs. You don't have to beat people up because you're angry. You don't have to, like, there's other ways to move.
Yeah.
A million other ways to move.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you, like, if you go to Khiry's Instagram page, you're going to see, like, rapping. You're going to see ass and titties.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see Bible verses and, like, crystal singing bowls.
My stories today, first of all. Yes, I posted Psalms, and there was something that needed to be shared from one of my friends. And then also someone had tagged me for the show that I have at the strip club tomorrow. And I was like, Khiry, you can't post Psalms and then post ass right after that. And then my other side was like, I mean, you are human, but I'm like, they don't understand it. I have this full conversation with me and my higher self and spirit. And I'm like, not everybody understands it. And they're like, well, is it their fault that they don't understand it yet? There will come a time where they do understand it. You still have to live how you need to live, because I live off entertainment industry.
Yeah.
I don't live off the aspect of making sure that people are continuously doing drugs, and I don't praise the wrong things within the industry. I praise the right things within the industry, and you can hear that in my music.
Yeah.
To where I talk about my personal self, my personal life, how abundance, I want it, manifesting.
Yeah.
Like, I told myself when I was making the album that I wanted to make it be a cool thing to talk about your angels and manifesting and numbers and spirituality, instead of rapping about the past and carrying guns and fucking, like, you can't say that, actually.
Yeah. You don't.
Technically,
Yeah. No, you don't.
But you know what I'm saying? So, like,
yeah.
Protection is a must, but also you don't have to praise that. You don't have to praise war.
Yeah. No. Like, and the thing is that, like, you're making more of an impact in that realm. Like, you're a warrior of the light and, like, warrior of spirit going into these realms with the low vibration, and you're raising it.
Where was Yeshua at? In the streets.
Yeah, he was with the hoes.
With the prostitutes. Look, he was with them. He was in the streets taking care of these people, and he was with all the people that didn't have faith. Because people that did have faith, what was his need there? There was no need. They were doing right. They might have had their little downfalls, but that's called being human. That's this human experience.
Right.
But he was in the trenches with the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Making sure that, hey, what are we doing here? Do you want to live better in light, or do you want to stay here forever? Because you're creating your own hell.
Totally.
And even angels were warriors. So why would we not want to be warriors for something that's more positive than be in the dark?
Yeah, and be a bridge to the light rather than just, I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm preaching to the choir all the time on my Instagram, because, like, it's all these people who agree with me, which is great for my ego, but, like...
Then it's like, what's next?
Yeah, I'm like, how do I reach the people that are maybe not in that realm? And I do have, like, a speaking event coming up where I'm going to speak at a concert.
Nice.
And I know that those people are going to be, like,
be
you
prepared.
know...
Yeah. Just closed ears, or not really accepting, but guess what? There'll be that 1 or 2, 3 people that'll be like, I needed to hear this.
And planting seeds.
Yeah.
That's really all we're doing, you know?
And then the tree grows.
Yeah.
And then the message is brought out. So
Totally.
it's always amazing when you at least touch 1 or 2, 3 people. Even if you touch one person, because you don't know how many people that one person is going to touch.
Exactly.
You just don't know. So.
I tell myself all the time. I'm like, if one person watches my video and feels something and it shifts something, then
you won.
I did it.
You did it. 100% you did it.
Well, you've touched my life watching you. Like, I remember when I went to one of your shows, not the last one, but one before that, you played Don't You Quit, and you gave this, like, really touching speech ahead of time. I think it was your show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just,
it was Zone Out Fest.
I think it was the one
before
Zone Out Fest. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was before, because I don't think I did Don't Quit on Zone Out Fest. So yeah, it was at Aura.
Yeah.
I remember.
I literally started crying. I was like, oh my God, he's speaking just to me. Like, this is my song right now.
Right, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. It was a must. No, it's fine.
Okay. Someone just walked in the room and I was like, do we need to say hello?
Hi, Dre. Yeah, we're recording
doing
right
a podcast.
If you can watch if you're quiet. if you're quiet, you can watch all you want to, okay? You can keep out a frame, but you can watch us if you just want to watch. You're more than welcome to.
Yeah, we chilling.
Maybe I'll do one with. Alright, baby, they're busy. Go back in the room. They said go back in the room.
Alright, don't get beat up now. He's like,
kids, they feel the light. The
look,
kids got to come out.
They do. And then he was like, you know what? Mom said what Mom said, so.
All right, I'll go back in my room.
Gotta listen to your mom.
Always listen to your mama. But yeah, don't you quit. Like you said, your music is really, you got some like
jams,
dick sucking songs.
I mean, yeah, because life. I mean, I live life.
I love it. I love it all because I feel we're a spiritual being having a human experience.
Exactly.
And you embody that because everyone can find a song they like on Khiry's album. Like every single person. Maybe you won't love every single one, but like
you're gonna find something where you're like, oh, this shit hard. Why isn't he? Yeah. A lot of I talk to my friends that are like getting into music, and of course they get stuck in this world of I gotta make this hit single or I gotta make this single. Like, and I think I was stuck there too in the very beginning. I was like, gotta make a single for the radio, gotta make a single, and you forget that when you're making music, you're putting your energy into it, and you're giving out pieces of yourself in this music. So if you're not gonna be your genuine self, you're not gonna like what you do. And I'll never forget, Six Black said, and I think it was like number 6 of the songs on one of his big EPs. He said, if I get stuck making a certain type of sound that I don't like, and I get booked off of that, that's what people are gonna really want. And he's like, I don't want to be stuck there. I'm giving myself. So I remember when I was making this album, I realized at some point in time I was writing messages to myself. Like I was talking to myself, I was telling my own story. So Don't Quit was one of those. I had to be in a point in time where I was like, you got to do the song. And then I think I couldn't figure out whether I wanted to give like a message within that song or whether I wanted to be kind of like really hip-hoppy, almost kind of like nasty within it. And then I was like, why not do both? Yeah. And then it worked out really well. Yeah. It worked out really well. So the hook of the song was like, just don't you quit. Like, you're made for this. And I was like, God damn. Yeah. And I said, I looked in the back and I was like, yeah, okay. So I think it's important for us, for anything that we do, is to remain genuine within ourselves and give ourselves full-heartedly, so that therefore it transcends and it touches those people in that manner. Yeah. Because when you give dead energy, eventually it dies out.
Yeah, and people can feel when it's not the real you, and it's not genuine, you know?
That's the reason why I came up with my name. I'll never forget, maybe 6-7 years ago, trying to come up with an alter ego, rap name or whatever, artist name. And then eventually I stuck with Khiry, and because I was like, I am who I am. I'm my full authentic self, and I don't want to hide behind an alter ego. So when people ask me, so what's your rap name? The Real Khiry. Yeah. It's me. You're getting me 100%. No hold bars.
I love that, and I resonate with that too, because recalibrate, like same thing. I was literally like, well, I'm offering me. Yeah. But I don't want to just be Kala. Like I want a little
something, a little spice in there. Yeah. Do some black pepper. Yes.
Yeah, but it's perfect, and it makes sense because you are fucking real, man. Yeah. I appreciate that about you.
I appreciate you. No, seriously though.
So how do you, because I've only been in this game of sharing myself or like putting myself out there on the internet in this way for like a year and a half, and I already still feel moments where I'm like, fuck, why am I doing this? Like, how am I gonna, like, is anything ever gonna come from this? And the fears that come up,
we start doubting ourselves or having those wild thoughts where they're not even necessary.
Yeah, it's like, am I gonna be homeless? Like, bitch, I'm not gonna be homeless, but I'm like, what if,
Yeah, literally.
How do you keep those thoughts at bay? Because you've been in this game grinding for a minute, you know?
Yeah, I touched down in 2016 when I was on tour. And then I think the biggest part after that was once the tour ended and I was in this place like, what now? How do you get to headline your own tour? Like, you had a great time, touched 20,000, 30,000 people. How do you get back to that by yourself? Yeah. And I think we can just go back to don't you quit. Yeah. Like literally don't you quit, because when you have a passion for something and it's genuinely yourself and you love what you're doing, there's no need for you to quit. There's no need for you to have fear. God says fear not. Especially like when you're doing what you need to do. And I think a big step that I realized in life was me genuinely giving back as well. There was a point in time where we were giving back and I realized this makes me feel just as good as me making a really good song, if not better. And I was like, I have to, like, no matter the amount of stress or pressure that you feel when climbing that mountain, by the time it's over, you have this release of just like, that felt good, and you feel fulfilled, and you feel like I can conquer anything.
Yeah.
So I can relate that to physical exertion. When you're climbing up a mountain and you get to the top and you see this beautiful view, you're like, thank you for this view. When I'm stressed out more than enough about getting these clothes to people, we're doing what we need to do, and you guys all come in together and help me, and we get done with it, and we're just all looking at each other like, damn, we did this.
We done did it.
And then you're like, thank you. Spirit's like, Spirit's happy with you. Your body's happy with you. Other people are happy. Even you've seen me deal with some situations out there that you never would have thought I would have dealt with, and I had to realize when there's light around, there's always gonna be dark around. And sometimes you got to deal with some demons, but you have to handle them properly, because if you don't handle them properly, you'll fuck up everything that your intentions were set out to do. So again, when it comes down to music and me not giving up on anything and knowing that I'm going to have my headline tour one day, it's all about not quitting. Yeah. I love doing this. It's a passion, and it's not a fantasy. I've been there. I've been at the winning table, and I want to be at the winning table where I'm like, I guess the king of it, but like I'm able to like really be that good king and share what I want to share with people and do what I'm able to do. You know, through Spirit and God. So don't quit, can't quit. What am I gonna quit for?
And if you keep putting in the energy and keep showing up and keep doing the things, like eventually something's gonna shift and move.
It has to. It's law.
Yeah.
It's law.
Yeah.
What are we doing? If you quit, then I mean, you didn't want it enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not real, like, it's work, but it's more than that. It's like, and now I can't imagine not doing it. I'm like, well, what would I do with myself?
Yeah, literally. Man, the reason why I stopped smoking, I quit smoking when I really got sick. I was overworking myself, and I didn't rest, and I knew better, and I could actually feel my body like, all right, Khiry, you need to, like, sit down. All right, Khiry, you really need to sit down. And then one day it just smacked me. And I completely lost, like, I couldn't really talk. I lost my voice. And I had to have, like, this real thought process to myself while I was laying in bed. And I was like, what would you do if you lost your voice? I said, because, I mean, you working 5 nights in a row on a mic, whether you're performing or, you know, or emceeing at a club, and then you coming home and smoking weed, backwoods, on top of backwoods, drinking alcohol, tearing your vocal cords up, even though they're trying to heal at night, and you're not hydrating yourself like you should, drinking tea like you should. What are you gonna do if you lose your voice? And I damn near had a heart attack in bed, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I said, I'm done. I'm smoking. What? Why am I smoking still? I'm smoking more than enough for more lifetimes. I'm smoked enough, so I'm like, that day I quit. And I think I got upset with a couple situations, and I maybe hit the blunt 2 times after that. And I remember I woke up one day and I gave the rest of my weed to one of my friends. I just woke up, I said, here, I'm done. And the rest of because I only smoked like half of this big ass backwood, and I'm like, here, I'm done. I'm really done now. I still have my little weed pills or whatever, but I've cut down my THC intake so much.
That's awesome.
So it's like 10 milligrams a day, if max 20 milligrams a day.
Wow.
So it's like, what's the point? You can still get high other ways. I don't have to smoke. I don't have to tear my vocal cords up. I can drink my tea. I can drink my water. I can stay hydrated and still have my buzz or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and Khiry like has put in, at least in the song Manifest, it's like, you know, rolling those backwoods up. I don't fuck with those swishers.
With swishers unless it's a leaf. Yes, toxic. No more. I did go through like a good 2 weeks of not drinking hard alcohol, and I've been like drinking wine more.
We're drinking a little bit of wine right now.
Right here, but even in the book, Bible says don't get caught up in wine that sparkles or wine that's super red, because at the end of it strikes like a viper. So even just alcohol in general, it poisons. So if you're out there getting drunk, and I've been to those points where I'm like drinking 2-3 bottles of wine to myself, I'm like, all right, you got to get back right, because eventually it's gonna nip you in the butt. You're killing off your connection with source. So it's one of those things where I preach. I'm like, all right, if we're gonna take the time to drink, we need to take the time to detox, and that's why you see me up the next morning working out, detoxing, getting it all out, like sweating it all out, hydrating very much. And I think it's just being responsible. I
quit drinking for 6 months, and I've had thanks. I've had a couple drinks since then, but it really helped me like reestablish my relationship with alcohol, that like now I never want it really. Like you offered me some, I was like, sure, I'll have a little wine.
Yeah,
like,
but at first you were like,
I know.
So I was like,
well, because I knew that like people watching are gonna be like, Callah's drinking wine, but like,
it's one glass. It's good. For
it's
the
not
heart.
even a glass.
Yeah, it's not even a full
probably
glass.
like
I like I gave you this much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's just fun, and
Lord knows she's doing better than me.
I don't like to like put myself in a box of like I'm never gonna drink again.
You're still
like,
having this human experience.
Exactly. So I'm like, fuck it. I've never had a glass of wine with my friend Khiry. I'm gonna do it.
This
you
is
know.
very true.
So that's where I'm at. It's just like living the experience, finding the balance, and like I think it's appropriate too that this whole episode has kind of been about like the balance between like spirituality and showing up in the club and like all these things.
And being a human, like if you're, as long as you're not being a deviant, like there's no need for you to be a demon. There's like, it's way too easy. It's way too easy to go down dark paths. So it's like, as long as you're taking the time to be responsible and trying to really find that balance, and it doesn't mean like, oh, let me drink as much as I detox, you know what I'm saying? Or let me detox as much as I drink. I think that's an unhealthy balance. You still want to be more on the lighter side, but understanding and realizing that you don't have to damn yourself for doing certain things, and to forgive yourself and to forgive others, and not to be so hard on others, because guess what? God forgives us anytime we come to him, a million times. And I've had people try to be upset with me for giving other people second chances, even if it's from a distance. And I'm like, well, if I can come to God a million times and he forgive me for certain things, why can't I do the same for someone else? Especially when I'm trying to say that I want to be closer to him or move closer in his footsteps. And I think that's important, whether they understand it or not. And it's not their place to understand. They're just not ready to. So.
Yeah. And you don't have to, just because you forgive someone or like hold